I was alive. Don't you realize what would have happened? I mean, all this, all the Whitney millions, they would have gone to waste. Most of it would have gone to the government. Now, how could I have let that happen? I mean, he was dead and buried. But his fortune was here, unused, untouched by human hands. Now, my God, Raven, how could I let all that beautiful money go to waste? I mean, how could I let it go to the government so they could build highways or ballistic missiles or God knows what else? I mean, how could I do that?
You couldn't, and you didn't. You were right. You're wonderful. I love you. And we are going to take the world for a ride.
No, wait a minute. Just wait a minute now. Do you know what you're saying? I mean, you know the truth now, so if we'd agree to some pact of secrecy, that means that you're an accomplice.
It's all right. I'm with you. A while ago, I did some bad things involving my son in order to get a fortune, so I understand you, and I love you for it.
Oh, my God. I was such a fool. I should have told you about it right from the start.
Well, why didn't you? What did you think I was going to do? Go run to the place screaming imposter? I love you. And I also love money.
You know, from the first time we met, I knew that we were exactly alike. And we both love to practice the fine art of high living.
So let's practice till we get it right.
It's such a relief to have somebody to talk to tell my secret to.
Oh, it must have been terrible.
Yeah, well, at least now you know where I had my secret study.
So that you could be Jeff Brown once in a while?
Yeah. I couldn't just forget about it.
Well, your secret is safe with me.
Well, I should hope so, because it is just as important to you now as it is to me.
I won't tell a soul.
Oh, I do love you, Mrs. Whitney.
Don't answer it.
Hello?
Is this Mr. Whitney? This is Miles Cavanaugh.
Oh, Dr. Kavanaugh. Yes, we've been waiting to hear from you.
I'm calling from Monticello General. Your aunt insisted that I contact you to let you know that she was all right.
Oh, thank God for that. We were very worried about it. As a matter of fact, we were just talking about her.
Yes, well, she suffered a concussion, so she's going to be under observation for a few days, but she should be as good as new. Look, hold on for a second, will you? Look, I don't want you doing any talking. Now, I'm filling in your nephew on your condition, as I promised.
I want to talk to him, Miles.
It's not a good idea, but all right. No more than 2 minutes.
Skylar, how are you?
Oh, Geraldine, well, I'm fine. I'm a little shaken up, I guess. But the important thing is, how are you?
Well, my dear, I have a monumental headache. But Miles assures me that I'll be back to normal in a few days. Now, what about Raven? Is she all right?
Oh, yeah, well, she's fine. She's worried sick about you, that's all.
Is she there?
Sitting by my side?
Put her on, dear.
Mrs. Whitney, it is our Auntie Geraldine.
Geraldine, it is so good to hear your voice.
Yeah. I appreciate your concern, Raven. It's nice to know that you're thinking of me.
When I came out of the bedroom and down the stairs and saw you lying there, I thought that he had killed you.
When I regained consciousness, my first thought was that he might have done away with you.
Well, I'm glad we were both wrong, aren't you? I guess I should let you just rest.
Yes, I'm really very tired. I have the feeling when I finally do close my eyes, I'm going to sleep for the next 2 days.
Well, if that's what it takes to make you better, then that's what you should do.
I'm afraid I have to get off the phone, Raven. It's the doctor's orders.
Well, all right, look, I'll come see you tomorrow, and rest well, and I love you.
Goodbye, dear.
Bye-bye.
Raven, I'm sorry to cut your conversation short. We got to let Geraldine get some rest.
Okay, well, how is she? Is she all right?
Yeah, the prognosis is very good.
Good. Look, if there's anything I can do, you just let me know.
Well, once she's released from the hospital, she'll need some tender, loving care, but right now we're keeping an eye on her.
Well, you make sure that whatever she wants, she gets.
All right, suppose I just put a note at the top of her chart saying only the best for this lady. She means a lot to me, too, you know.
Good. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Miles. I just wanted Raven to know that I was all right.
Well, now that I've done something for you, I expect you to return the favor. I want you to lie back, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to let sleep come.
I'm afraid I'm not in any condition to do anything but to comply.
Is there anybody else you want me to notify? I'll do that for you.
No, there's no one else, Miles. Just as long as Skylar and Raven know, I have no other family.
Geraldine, considering all the people who care about you, you're the biggest family in Monticello.
Very interesting story, Sammy. Why don't you tell it to us once more? Let's see if it sounds just as stupid this time.
What are you guys wasting time on me for, huh? I'm small potato.
You were small potato, Sammy, till you decided to snatch Raven Whitney's purse.
You're in way over your head, boy. I think your only way out is to be honest with us.
I keep telling you, I didn't really snatch that lady's purse.
Why do you insist on sticking to that fairy tale? We've got you dead to rights on this thing.
Hey, I was there. What I mean is I didn't do it for me, you know? So it shouldn't count as much, right?
Look, I know you're speaking English, so why don't I understand what you're saying?
Romeo laid $100 on me and told me what to do. It was his plan.
Come on, why would a punk like Romeo pay you to snatch someone's purse?
Now, what were you doing in front of that dress shop?
She was just standing there looking in the store window, and her purse was hanging from her hand. Must have been a piece of cake for you.
So you just decided to saunter on over and snatch it, is that correct?
Right. Then I headed into this alley with Romeo on my tail.
Just like you planned it.
He told me to wait for him there, so that's what I did. Anyway, I gave him the purse, and he pretended to mess me up a little bit. Then I made my escape, and Romeo took the purse back and made out he was a hero with the lady.
You're lying, Sammy.
That's all there was, Stoner.
Are you sure you don't want to backtrack a little bit and fill us in on something you left out?
Like what?
Like what you took out of that purse.
I didn't touch a cent.
But you did take her house keys, didn't you? You took it to a locksmith and you had a duplicate set made and you gave them to your pal Romeo. Isn't that true?
I figured that's how he scored with all those ladies.
Come on in. I hope I'm not interrupting.
What do you got, Tyler?
I've been checking some things out. Sky's story seems to fit the facts.
Now, wait a second. Take him down, book him, print him, have photographs taken.
Come on, let's go.
All right. You verified he was in Chicago on business, had Gunther with him?
That appears to be the case. I did find something pretty interesting, though.
What?
When Sky Whitney returned to Monticello tonight, he chartered a private two-seater jet. He left Gunther behind to take a commercial flight that came in much later.
Sounds like the man was in a hurry to get back to town.
All right, I think we're going to have to get Gunther down here, see if he can shed some light on all this.
I thought you might say something like that, Chief, so I picked Mr. Wagner up at the airport. He's right out here.
What do you stand there for? Bring him in. For your second thought. Take him up to my office. We'll interrogate him there.
Dude tried to break into the Whitney house, and Mr. Whitney blew him away with a shotgun, huh? Well, don't that beat all? You know, Mr. Whitney's not the violent type. He must have been really wired up to get up the guts to even pull the trigger.
Come on, Gunther, what about it? You ever seen that face before?
It's familiar to me, yeah.
Where and when, Gunther?
Well, this man you call Slade dropped by the house this afternoon.
What?
Yeah, I said he found Mrs. Whitney's house keys, so he stopped by to return them.
It's very thoughtful of him.
I don't get that.
Well, obviously he didn't want Mrs. Whitney to miss the keys, get suspicious, and have all the locks in the house changed. And he probably figured that he'd be invited inside for a cup of tea for his good deed. Once inside, he could check the place out, case his job. Tell me, Gunther, did you ever see this Mr. Slade before you let him in the house?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, come on, Gunther, just tell us about it.
Well, look, don't get the wrong idea, Chief. It's not like I know this character Slade. I mean, he's not a friend or anything.
Well, tell us how it was then, Gunther.
All right, early this afternoon, I was killing a couple of hours at this bar I like to go to downtown. And I looked up, and what do I see? Off in a corner at a table, but this man Slade and Mrs. Whitney.
Mrs. Whitney? What were they doing together?
Beats me. I don't know what a classy woman like Mrs. Whitney is doing in the company of a lowlife like Slade. So when she got up from the table and left, I went over and asked him.
And what did he tell you?
He said that he had retrieved Mrs. Whitney's purse from some punk who had grabbed it. She was buying him a drink, you know, to show her appreciation.
Yeah, he created that whole situation just to get his hands on those keys long enough to have duplicates made.
For all the good it did him.
Tell me, Gunther, how do you think it happened that Mr. Slade knew that both of these servants would be out of the Whitney house?
Listen, if you're referring to me, I didn't tell anyone I went to Chicago. I don't have anyone to tell.
Reminds me, Gunther. You got any idea how we can reach the maid with Chrissy Nichols?
I haven't the slightest idea.
You mean she didn't tell you what she was going to do on her night off?
All right, Chrissy told me she was going to go visit her mother. But I didn't care enough to find out where the house was. Look, she's due back early in the morning. You can ask her questions, whatever you want to then.
That's if she ever comes back.
I'll do a background check on her, Chief, see if I can find if anything would show that she was involved in this somehow.
All right.
What are you thinking? It was an inside job?
Well, it has been done before, Gunther.
Yeah?
Excuse me, gentlemen. Hope I haven't missed too much. Chief, I stopped into records and picked up this file on Romeo Slade.
Really? Mr. Slade has graced our halls of justice many times, it seems. Aggravated assault, extortion.
Yeah, real nice guy.
Look at this yellow sheet. He's been arrested 12 times, 2 convictions. But I don't see anything for housebreaking now.
Well, we won't be booking him anymore, Chief, that's for sure.
Here's something. He used to go by the nickname Lady Killer.
Well, he was almost to that tonight.
You swore off hospital.
Oh, don't laugh. I've got this horrible twinge of anxiety when I walk through the front door. How is she?
She's holding her own, happy to say.
Oh, that's good to hear.
No subdural hematoma, so with proper rest and care, she ought to be all right.
Oh, good. Can I go see her then?
No. Afraid I gotta keep you out of there. I don't want her to have any company.
Oh, Miles, are you telling me the truth about her condition?
Yes, she's gonna be fine. Let you see her chart if you want.
Oh, I want to see her. Look, maybe I can be of some comfort to her. Look, I'll just stay 1 minute,
Well,
okay?
the truth is, sweetheart, the truth is I gave her something to help her rest, so she's probably fast asleep by now, which is the best thing for her.
Okay. Oh, it just all seems so terribly unfair. If something like this could happen to Geraldine, she doesn't have an enemy in the whole world.
Well, I think her record is unstained on that. I'm sure her assailant didn't mean anything personal.
She was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, it was Raven's house that was robbed. Sort of ironic that Raven got out of this whole mess with nothing more than a bad scare.
Why was she in that house all alone?
Well, her husband was in Chicago on business.
What about Gunther? Where was he? He could scare up a whole army of burglars.
Gunther apparently was with his boss in Chicago.
Well, what about the other servants? Where were they?
Well, there is only one other, and she'd been given the night off.
That's great planning. What in the world was Schuyler Whitney thinking when he left his wife all alone in that huge house?
Well, it could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse.
Good evening, Mr. Whitney.
Hello, Gunther. How's your flight?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
Well, you missed quite a bit of excitement here tonight, Gunther.
So I've heard, sir. The local police informed me, Mr. Whitney.
What?
Yeah, my plane touched down 2 hours ago. My first stop was the local police station.
Well, why did you go there, Gunther?
Well, this detective, Damian Tyler, he met me at the airport. He said I should go downtown with him.
And you just went with him just like that?
Well, hanging out with a bunch of flatfoots is not my idea of having a good time, but when he asked me to go, I thought it was only correct that I should.
And so it was the police who told you about what happened here?
Yeah, I was really surprised to find out about it. Mrs. Whitney and Mrs. Saxon were certainly lucky that you returned when you did.
Well, what did they want to know?
They wanted to know what we were doing tonight. I told them the truth, Mr. Whitney. I told them that we went to Chicago and that you changed your mind about staying, so you returned back here in that private jet.
Well, did you tell them why I changed my mind and came back?
Well, how could I, Mr. Whitney? You didn't tell me.
Well, I had a very good reason for coming back, Gunther. It wasn't just a whim.
Well, I'm sure you did, Mr. Whitney.
When we got there, I got in touch with the plant manager, and he told me that the problems we had gone to take a look at had already been resolved.
I'm certainly glad for you, Mr. Whitney.
So I canceled the meetings that I had set up. And with the business pressures gone, I found that I was very lonely for my new bride. I was also concerned about her being all alone in this big house.
Well, you had reason to worry, as it turned out.
That is the reason that I came back, Gunther, to see my wife.
Sounds reasonable to me, Mr. Whitney.
Gunther, I'm sure that you don't like the idea of people telling tales out of school. Just as I don't like people talking about me behind my back.
I didn't say anything out of line tonight, Mr. Whitney.
Gunther, if you value your privacy as much as I value mine, you won't talk to anyone, the police or anyone, about me until I allow you to. Understood?
I hear you, Mr. Whitney, loud and clear.
Good. Going to bed.
Good night, Mr. Whitney. I hope you have a very pleasant sleep. Whatever you say goes, my good Lord and Master, as always. Lady killer, huh?
Made the biggest mistake of my life tonight. Thank God I didn't.
Two winners and a push. Maybe now his wife won't throw him out, at least this week. Ah, you're taking too much action on the underdog in that fight, Larry. I better call Baltimore and try and lay some of that off. Hello.
Hello. This is your very best customer, Gunther.
Hey, haven't heard from you in a while. About 6 months.
Yeah, well, that last race I bet on at Rockingham Park kind of tapped me out, you know what I mean?
Well, you're going to have to wait for tomorrow to get even. I'm not taking any more bets. Call me in the morning, okay?
Well, listen, I don't want to place a bet. I've got a question I think you can answer for me.
Look, if you want information, dial operator. I'm busy.
Look, it'll only take a minute. Listen, does the name Lady Killer ring a bell with you?
Lady Killer. Well, what are we talking about? A filly or a male? What track is he running at?
I'm not talking about a horse race. I'm talking about a person. A person. Does the name Romeo mean anything to you?
Romeo. Wherefore? Oh, yeah, well, wait a minute. Now I got it. Romeo Slade. Yeah, the dude likes to be called Lady Killer Slade.
So you do know him, hmm?
We met. Let me tell you this. I wouldn't wipe my feet on that bug.
Doesn't sound like you like him very much.
Well, how are you gonna like a guy who would kill his own grandmother for a dime? That's the kind of creep Slade is.
Well, listen, what was his specialty? Burglary?
No, not the way I hear it. Slade's specialty is women. Married ones.
Oh, really? Well, what is he, some kind of gigolo?
No, nothing so respectable. Slade gets rid of women for husbands who don't want them around anymore. That's why they call him Lady Killer.